the biggest one you were part of was '04. I guess they had one loss and y'all didn't have any. Just talk about your memories of that game and what it was like out there, the atmosphere and all that.
Well, the atmosphere was off the chart, exactly what we expected to be Saturday, and you know, it was a great memory for us. Obviously, it was 6 years ago, so it's probably lost a little bit of its luster, and you know, for me over the last 6 years. But it was a great win, and you know, it was an exciting time for the Auburn fans and for our football team and coaches at that point in time. So it's a lot of fun.
You saw that face, you know, their passing attack. How much better do you feel about your secondary, especially getting a lot of playing time for guys like Chris Davis and Ron White last couple of years? Well,
you know, here's kind of where we've gone with that. You know, we've been beat up, we've been banged up, we've in some instances had a Red Cross unit back there, it seems like, but you know, we challenged those guys the week of the LSU game. Young, not young, true freshman, not true freshman, backup, whatever your situation is, we challenged them, and you know, I thought that they responded well. Let me tell you something, Georgia will make plays. So it won't necessarily be about how our secondary or how our defense, you know, it's going to be how they respond to those plays the next play, and don't let that play beat you twice. So our secondary's got its work cut out for us, for them, and they know the challenges of playing a great quarterback and great receivers, great tight end, great receivers. So it's going to be very challenging, but they're going to make some plays, and we got to rebound and respond and just continue to battle for 60 minutes. That's what we got to do.
Gene, Dyer's having one of the great freshman seasons here at Auburn. Talk about your plan to show restraint with him early in the year, just kind of really weaning him on to control these guys.
Well, I think you know, that the plan has really kind of unfolded close to the way we envisioned it. You know, with running backs, as I've said earlier in the year, it's, you know, a lot of it is them getting used to protections, and you know, there's some. It's not just they carry the ball and they run for however many yards and they protect the football and don't fumble. There's so many other things in there, and so I think that we, you know, Coach Looper and Coach Malzahn did a really nice job of really bringing him along, not putting too much pressure on him early to you know, have to be the guy or any of that, because we still got Mario, who's a very, very good running back. We still got Ontario, that's a very good running back, and they've taken a lot of pressure on him, off of him. But I think game by game, he's become more comfortable with the whole picture, and I think that's why you're seeing him a little bit more effective than he was earlier in the year. And then plus, I think, you know, he's getting more opportunities now. So I think everybody's got a bit, you know, better comfort level.
Gene, I know you said you've been building a foundation, but from where you started with this team to 10-0 on the cusp of the berth in the SEC championship, talk about these past 2 years.
You know, I'm just, the only word I can use is blessed. I just feel blessed, man. I just, I feel so fortunate to be around, starting with the leadership of this whole athletic department, with Jay and just the vision that we've had together, and, you know, Dr. Gouge, our president, you know, everything all the way down has been awesome. Our players and how they've responded, and, you know, how they've bought into what we're trying to do, and the importance of this family, of this Auburn family, and not playing just for yourself, but playing for Auburn and playing for your teammates, and being appreciative of what you have here at Auburn while you have an opportunity to play here, and don't appreciate it after you leave, because that's what everybody has a tendency to do, to realize how much they loved it or missed it once they're gone. And so those are all the things that we've really tried to impress upon these guys, and they've bought in. And let me tell you, it's the players. I mean, it's the players. They play hard every week. They believe in each other. They got a team chemistry. They've developed it over 2 years, because many of them, you know, were here last year. We brought in a string of, you know, almost 30 freshmen and junior college players that have had to fit into the mix and the fold, and those guys have welcomed them in, because that's what you do when you're in a family. And they bought into it, you know, and so, you know, we never put a time frame on, you know, how many wins, and, you know, we know how we want to do it. We've been blessed to be able to, you know, stay on that track to really to the best of our ability.
Gene, you mentioned earlier that you don't think all this talk should affect Cam's Heisman candidacy. Do you think, I mean, you kind of steered clear of that conversation. Do you think he's the best player in America?
I think that I have not seen every player in America. I've seen one. That's number 2. And he is a great football player. He's not a good football player. He's a great football player. I don't make those decisions, but I can certainly say that based on what I've seen of my own guy, he needs to be in the running. No question.
One thing that we see out of him is on the field with a lot of joy. Guy who has fun playing before the game, after the game. Do you worry? Do you still see the same Cam? Will you worry if you don't see the same Cam out there?
Again, right now, Cameron is preparing for Georgia, and he hasn't changed, and I don't expect him to change.
Any questions for Coach?
Gene, big recruiting weekend for you guys this weekend. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, you know, it will. It's our last home game, obviously, where we can bring the recruits in to Jordan-Hare and let them see a game. It'll be a huge weekend for us. We're going to have hopefully a really good crowd in terms of recruits here. Our fans make it special. And as I've said before, you know, the guys that haven't been to a game here before, they're going to be in for a treat because our fans are going to be geared up and ready to go, and our student section is going to be alive, and all the things that come with game day here. So it really ought to be really a great venue and an exciting time for guys to come and watch the Tigers play.
Jim, you talked earlier about building this program and you know how you want to do it. How different is the blueprint used here than the one you had at Iowa State? How did you tailor it?
It's very similar. Without question, it's very similar. And that's always doing the right things. That's always recruiting right. It's always telling the truth. It's always, you know, again, bringing guys into the family and treating them right, and setting a standard and an expectation that you're not coming down off of, doesn't matter who it is, and recruiting the right guys for your program that have a chance to come in here and help Auburn football win. The blueprint has not changed. And again, you know, you have a sight and a vision for what you want to do, and you stay on that track, and we're not coming off it.
Anything else?
I have one more, sorry. Coach, we're doing a piece on news, sports, and faith. How does faith play a part in your team and your daily activities here in Colorado?
Well, for me personally, that's what I hang my hat on every day. That's what I do. That's who I am, and that's all I've got, because all this other stuff's going to be gone one day. So that's me personally. With our football team, we provide our guys with all the resources necessary. If that's something that they want to engage in, we provide that resource for them, just like you would provide a tutor or you know, whatever. We provide that resource for our team, and for those of young men on our team that choose to you know, use those resources, it's certainly there for them. And but for me personally in my life, it's a huge part of what myself, my family, and my wife believe in and what we do.
Thanks, Coach. Well, Cam Newton on the podium here momentarily.